You have been working with a lot of women, particularly during and creating a sacred time, a sacred space. I'm curious what you've learned working with them, and what does psychological safety actually really look like in corporate America today? And I want to put a spin on that, is what does it look like, particularly for Black and Brown employees?
It's interesting how, as companies and corporations, we study ourselves when it comes to competing against another company, but we don't look at that when it comes to like, well, let's study what we've done right, what we've done wrong, like internally, and let's hear from our employees and feedback on that. I also think that like we tend to shoot for middle management as a change versus like the top level executives changing their mindsets. So this idea of getting together, like across all levels of this hierarchy or the powers that be inside of a corporation, is going to be game changing for the first corporation to try that in a real authentic way. Because at the root of all this is authenticity. And to your point around like, you know, how far does influence go? Like how do these things look? I think that we have yet to discover how corporate executives can figure out what it means to be authentic. Mm-hmm. Like, what does that mean? What does authenticity at work mean? But again, if we're all contributing to a certain kind of workplace, you know, then maybe it's not as difficult as we think, right? Or if workplace is a certain kind of home, you know, don't throw your trash on the ground near my desk, right? Like, you know, like that's a home rule, right? We're keeping each other safe. If we look at psychological safety the same way we would look at physical safety, like we're keeping each other safe by locking the door, locking your computer. I think there's room for corporations to take the brightest minds that work with them on their technological safety and their physical safety of their buildings and say, okay, well, what would that look like in psychological safety?